All right, welcome back to Happy Hour, everyone. The midterm elections are heating up as the GOP hopes to win back the House. Well, our next guest here on Happy Hour is running for one of the critical Republican seats that's needed. So can the grandson of President Richard Nixon make an impact on Washington? Let's find out. Let me welcome to Happy Hour Chris Cox. He's a Republican congressional candidate for New York, which includes Long Island in Mauritius, where some of my good friends live as well. So why run? I mean, what difference are you going to make that we don't hear every other candidate say that all these promises once they get to Washington?
Well, luckily, I'm young and haven't been corrupted yet by any part of the system. So when I make my promises about cutting taxes, cutting the deficit, that's what I believe in. I went through NYU Law School and Princeton University and came out a conservative Republican. If you can get through the Ivy League and NYU and still be a Republican, you know you can keep your promises.
Well, when you're out there, I just wanted to just get a feel. When you're out there and people find out that you're Richard Nixon's grandson, is that a plus? I mean, do you like that, or is that a minus?
Everywhere I go, people say that Richard Nixon was one of their favorite presidents. Now, I'm talking to a lot of Republicans right now, but you know what? There are a lot of Democrats who said the same thing. A lot of labor Democrats say they really love my grandfather and that he was really one of us. That's the way they describe him. So I've seen it as a big positive so far in the campaign trail.
I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah. But you say that you haven't been corrupted by the system, but I would say by running on a Republican ticket, you're automatically corrupted by the system. I've had to bail out trillions of dollars of bankers because Republicans forced me to do it. You guys say that you're fiscally conservative, but once you're in the Republican Party that's being funded with corporate America dollars, you're beholden to corporate America.
What I would say is that the Republicans of the 2000s are not the same as the Republicans of the 2010 cycle. It's a completely different Republican Party. We know that the Republican Party made mistakes, spent too much money in the 2000s, but the Barack Obama administration and Democrats in Congress have taken that to an entirely new level.
So it's worse.
Big trouble.
It's worse.
Well, you have to say
Republicans are bad, but they're less
The Democrats.
They may be getting better.
Well, we are getting better, and the Democrats spent more in 1 year than Bill Clinton spent in his entire administration. That's why we need balance in Congress. That's why we need to have a Republican Congress to balance off a Democratic president with Barack Obama.
Chris, as I was trying to find out more about you, the voters are going to try to learn more about you. One of the things, you automatically go to your bio. It's interesting that you co-founded a consulting firm. You advise American companies on selling their products overseas, allowing them to expand their business and grow their workforce. Wait for it.
In America.
In America. Imagine that. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. That's a big part of what we do. We work with lots of companies that have new technologies that are homegrown right here in America. And I think that's one of the great things about America. We have a great educational system. We produce some of the best minds in the world. And we want to have our companies here remain strong, remain competitive abroad. And that's part of what I'm doing, is helping sell their products into those markets where they don't have access. And these are the best products in the world. We represent an LED lighting company that has the best light bulb. Green, exactly. Green. See,
fantastic.
You're Republican. Green.
No, Cree, C-R-E. I thought that's the LED company you might be talking
it's
about.
It's not Cree. It's another one.
Now, your father's in the business as well, right?
Yes, that's right. My dad is a state party chairman in New York for the Republican Party.
So we have grandfather, dad, you. Some would say we want non-political families to take over. Is that I'm thinking the Clintons, I'm thinking the Kennedys, now the Nixons.
I'm fine with that.
What I've been through. I've been through the private sector. I started off as a lawyer in a law firm in New York. I worked in the private sector, founded my own company. I understand what small businesses need. They need less regulation, lower taxes, much lower taxes. We need to lower the capital gains tax rate. It was proven in the 1970s, and Jimmy Carter, a Democrat, cut the capital gains tax rate, and that is part of what led us to this great expansion we had in the 80s.
Chris, I want to be clear. I ain't no Democrat either. The Republican-Democrat regime is my enemy, and that's what I'm fighting up here.
You're the Tea Party.
I'm not a Tea Party either, man. I'm an American individual. That's all I am. And talk, though, you talk a lot about what we would do once we get there. Talk a little about if you were in 2008 when the Republicans are telling you you have to bail out Wall Street or the system's going to go down. We just need a $400 million $400 billion one-time infusion. Would you have voted for the bailout?
No, I wouldn't have. And I think that bailing out Wall Street...
So you would have let the system go down, Goldman Sachs go bankrupt.
Well, what I would say to that is that we have a bankruptcy system. Firms can go through the bankruptcy system and come out even stronger. We've seen that happen time and time again. I think being an alarmist and saying that the system that actually works quite well won't work I think that's giving into fear.
Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. That's all I fought for every step of the way.
You're up?
I thought you were anxious to get
No,
in.
no, I can't find. You win. I'm done.
In the end, though, it is about your election, though. You're running as a Republican. The Republican Party, can it overcome the taint that it has because of the bailouts?
Absolutely, I think it can because of some of the factors that I've talked about. With the huge spending that we've seen, with the huge takeover of the private sector by the government that we saw with the health care bill. And look at what happened just a few days ago. We saw that the CBO came out and said that the costs for the health care bill are going to be even higher, hundreds of billions of dollars higher than initially expected.
115
to be exact, but I was rounding. But we know it's going to get bigger and bigger.
Chris, good luck, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Do you use the Chris Nixon Cox or just Chris Cox?
Chris Cox. It's easier to remember.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
You do this? You don't do that?
I leave that to you.
Okay.
But you're very good. You want to come on the campaign trail?
Yes, I shall.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Chris. On tap.